There's a reason some people walk through life as if nothing can shake them. Insults slide off them. Manipulators can't get inside their head. Chaos doesn't bend their emotions. They move like stone, cold, strategic, untouchable. And if you've ever wondered how they became that way, Machiavelli would tell you one thing: strength isn't granted, it's engineered. Today, you will learn the ruthless mindset powerful people use to rise above emotional noise, psychological manipulation, and the subtle attacks hidden in everyday life. This isn't about becoming heartless. It's about becoming unbreakable, not through cruelty, but through clarity, through strategy, through inner discipline so sharp it can cut through any emotional trap laid before you. If you internalize these lessons, you will stop reacting like the average person and start responding like a tactician. You are about to learn 12 ruthless truths that will make you emotionally untouchable. Take a breath. Settle in. Let the transformation begin. Lesson 1. Control what you give your attention. Machiavelli believed that the world is shaped not by truth, but by perception. And perception is shaped by what you choose to focus on. Emotionally weak people allow the world to hijack their attention. A rude comment ruins their day. A minor inconvenience derails their focus. One disrespectful stranger throws them off balance. But emotionally untouchable people operate differently. They understand that attention is a form of currency, and they spend it with calculation. If something does not serve their goals, their peace, or their long-term advantage, it receives nothing, not even a reaction. Effective affirmation. My silence is strategic. My attention is power. Lesson 2. Don't let emotional bait hook you. Every day, people attempt to hook your emotions. Some do it consciously. Some do it subconsciously. Some do it because they envy you. Others because they want to control you. Carl Jung once noted that people project their own darkness onto the nearest target. If you aren't careful, you become that target. Emotionally untouchable individuals understand this simple truth. Not every provocation deserves acknowledgement. Someone mocks you? Stay calm. Someone tries to guilt-trip you? Remain neutral. Someone tries to pull you into their emotional storm? Don't step inside. Because the moment you take the bait, you lose. Effective affirmation. I respond with intention, not impulse. No one controls my inner world. Lesson 3. Master the art of pause. Emotionally reactive people lose power because they speak too quickly. They reveal their fears, their insecurities, their vulnerabilities, all by reacting instantly. But the emotionally untouchable have a psychological weapon that makes them appear mysterious, cold, and powerful. The pause. A silent pause creates uncertainty. It makes others reevaluate their position. It forces them to confront themselves instead of you. A strategic pause isn't weakness. It's dominance. Robert Greene often describes this as controlling the frame. When you pause, you control the frame. When you react instantly, the world controls the frame. Effective affirmation. I pause. I observe. I choose. Lesson 4. Separate emotion from strategy. Machiavelli never told rulers to be cruel. He told them to be effective. Emotional people blur these lines. They confuse their feelings with their decisions. They act out of insecurity, fear, or anger, and suffer for it. The emotionally untouchable understand a vital distinction. Feelings are temporary. Strategy is permanent. They feel anger, but they don't act on it. They feel fear, but they don't let it guide them. They feel sadness, but they don't collapse under it. To them, emotions are weather. Strategy is architecture. Weather changes. Architecture stays. Effective affirmation. My strategy leads. My emotions follow. Lesson 5. Redefine insults as information. Weak hearts crumble when criticized. Strong minds analyze criticism. Machiavelli observed that enemies reveal more truth than friends. An insult can show you who envies you, who fears you, who misunderstands you, who wants to control you. Emotionally untouchable people don't personalize insults. They decode them. Every attack becomes data. Every disrespect becomes insight. Every criticism becomes a map of someone's intentions. Once you see insults as information rather than injury, you become immune to them. Effective affirmation. Words cannot pierce me. They reveal you, not me. Lesson 6. Use distance as a power tool. Most people cling too closely to others. Their mood depends on someone else's approval. Their self-worth depends on how they're treated. Their peace depends on external conditions, not the emotionally untouchable. They cultivate psychological distance, a space between stimulus and response. This distance allows them to observe human behavior without absorbing it, to witness emotions without drowning in them, to walk away from toxicity without hesitation. Distance is not coldness. Distance is mastery. It's the space in which clarity is born. Remember, a king who stands too close to the crowd becomes ordinary. A king who maintains distance commands respect. Effective affirmation. Distance sharpens my focus and strengthens my power. Lesson 7. Stop explaining yourself. Explaining yourself is a form of submission. It signals insecurity. It suggests you need approval. Machiavelli noticed that powerful individuals spoke less, not more. They didn't justify their decisions. They didn't defend their choices. They acted and allowed others to interpret. Emotionally untouchable people are comfortable being misunderstood. They know that explanations often weaken authority, and that people respect decisive action more than defensive clarification. Speak with intention. Act with confidence. Let your results explain themselves. Effective affirmation. I owe no explanations. My actions speak for me. Lesson 8. Never react to disrespect immediately. There is one rule nearly every powerful strategist follows. Immediate reactions are emotional. Delayed reactions are strategic. When someone disrespects you, they expect a reaction. They want your emotions to explode outward. They want to see you lose control. Why? Because the person who reacts first usually loses first. Emotionally untouchable individuals adopt a colder, more calculated approach. They don't respond in the heat of the moment. They don't defend themselves impulsively. They don't rush to correct someone's perception. Instead, they wait. They watch. They let the disrespect expose the other person's intent. Then, when clarity replaces emotion, they act. Sometimes the right move is silence. Sometimes distance. Sometimes a calm, firm boundary. Sometimes a decisive consequence. But never an emotional explosion. As Robert Greene wrote in the 48 Laws of Power, the moment you show anger, you reveal your weakness. Effective affirmation. I delay my response. I protect my power. Lesson 9. Understand that most people react from their wounds, not their wisdom. Most emotional attacks are not truly about you. They are expressions of insecurity, jealousy, fear, unhealed trauma, personal failure, hidden inferiority. Jung explained this through the concept of the shadow, the dark part of a person that they refuse to acknowledge. When someone projects their shadow onto you, they weaponize their unresolved pain. The emotionally untouchable person recognizes this instantly. They don't take it personally. They don't absorb it. They don't internalize it as truth. Instead, they observe. This attack tells me more about them than it ever could about me. This level of understanding creates a psychological shield, a barrier between you and the emotional chaos of others. Once you realize most hostility comes from someone's inner wounds, those attacks lose their power over you. Effective affirmation. Other people's chaos is not my identity. Lesson 10. Cultivate the power of low reactivity. If you want to be emotionally untouchable, if you want to move through life in control, there is one ability you must master. Low reactivity. The more reactive you are, the more predictable you become. And the more predictable you are, the easier you are to manipulate. Emotionally untouchable people are unreadable, not because they hide themselves, but because they refuse to give others emotional leverage. Low reactivity looks like not flinching under pressure, not escalating during conflict, not revealing your emotional state, not responding to emotional manipulation, not being dragged into drama. When people cannot predict your reactions, they cannot control you. Machiavelli emphasized that uncertainty is a ruler's silent weapon. When people cannot guess your motives or emotions, they tread lightly around you. They become careful, respectful, even fearful. Effective affirmation. I am calm under pressure. Nothing pulls me off balance. Lesson 11. Remove neediness from your identity. Neediness is the seed of emotional weakness. If you need someone to respect you, you're vulnerable to disrespect. If you need someone to validate you, you're vulnerable to their criticism. If you need someone to stay, you're vulnerable to abandonment. Emotionally untouchable individuals train themselves to eliminate psychological neediness. This doesn't mean becoming detached or indifferent. It means becoming self-sufficient, whole-centered. When you don't need external validation or approval, no one can use it against you. As Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. You are strongest when nothing external defines your worth." Effective affirmation. I rely on my inner strength. My worth is self-created. Lesson 12. Let silence do the work of 1,000 words. There is nothing more intimidating, more unsettling, more psychologically disruptive than a silence you control. Average people fill silence with nervous explanations, defensive rambling, unnecessary clarifications, and emotional apologies. But the emotionally untouchable weaponize silence. Silence creates space. Space creates discomfort. Discomfort exposes truth. Sometimes you say more by saying nothing. Sometimes silence reveals who's insecure. Sometimes silence forces respect. Sometimes silence kills manipulation before it begins. Consider this. A calm silence after someone insults you is more powerful than any angry comeback. A still, expressionless pause after someone tries to provoke you is more intimidating than any emotional argument. Silence is not empty. Silence is a statement. And for those who know how to use it, silence becomes a fortress. Effective affirmation. My silence commands respect. My presence speaks louder than words. Lesson 13. Build an inner world no one can invade. The emotionally untouchable understand a truth most people never realize. Your inner world is your kingdom. Guard it like a fortress. Most people let others walk into their mind, with opinions, judgments, insults, expectations, and emotional pressure. They hand over access to their peace, as if it costs nothing. But powerful people build walls, not to isolate themselves, but to protect their mental sovereignty. Your inner world should be a place only you influence, not your critics, not your enemies, not even the people you love. When you rule your inner world, nothing can invade it. Not chaos, not drama, not manipulation, not fear. Machiavelli wrote that a wise ruler must fortify himself where no enemy can reach. This isn't about physical walls. It's about psychological ones. You become untouchable not when the world becomes easier, but when your inner world becomes stronger. Effective affirmation. My mind is my fortress. Only I command it. Lesson 14. Train yourself to be comfortable with discomfort. If you fear discomfort, you can be controlled. People who cannot sit with discomfort will do anything to escape it. They argue impulsively. They over-explain. They chase validation. They fall into emotional traps. They crumble under pressure. Emotionally untouchable people are different. They lean into discomfort. They hold steady through awkward silences, through tension-filled confrontations, through moments of uncertainty. They don't shrink when situations become heavy. They expand. When you can stay calm in high-tension moments, you gain psychological dominance. People become unsure of your limits, unsure of your thoughts, unsure of what affects you, and uncertainty creates fear, respect, deference. This is why elite soldiers, CEOs, and world leaders train in discomfort. The more you endure, the less the world can use against you. Effective affirmation. I remain steady. Discomfort strengthens me. Lesson 15. Never let your emotional state be seen too clearly. To be emotionally untouchable, you must develop what Machiavelli calls the fox and the lion. The lion shows strength. The fox hides it. You need both. If people can read your emotions easily, they can manipulate them. If they know what excites you, they'll use it to lure you. If they know what angers you, they'll use it to trap you. If they know what scares you, they'll use it to break you. But when your emotional state is unreadable, calm, composed, steady, you become unpredictable. And unpredictable people are dangerous. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions. It means controlling their display. You feel deeply, but you reveal selectively. You move with intention, not impulse. You respond with calculation, not chaos. The less people know, the less they can use. Effective affirmation. My emotions are felt privately, revealed selectively, controlled completely. Lesson 16. Avoid fighting battles that don't matter. Emotionally untouchable people conserve their energy. They don't argue with fools. They don't chase gossip. They don't correct every misunderstanding. They don't try to win every conflict. They choose their battles with precision. Every conflict has a cost. Time, energy, mental focus. So the untouchable avoid anything that distracts them from their goals. Machiavelli warned rulers against fighting unnecessary battles, because small conflicts drain strength faster than great wars. The powerful do not respond to every attack. They respond to strategic attacks. The rest, they let go, without hesitation, without emotion. It is not indifference. It is efficiency. Effective affirmation. I protect my time and energy. I fight only when it matters. Lesson 17. Ruthlessly remove people who thrive on emotional chaos. Some people thrive on turbulence. Their entire identity is built on drama, tension, and emotional instability. Their chaos becomes your chaos if you allow them in your life. Emotionally untouchable individuals have a simple rule. If someone destabilizes your peace, their access to you must be reduced. If they threaten your clarity, their influence must end. This is not cruelty. It is hygiene. Psychological hygiene. You do not need enemies to lose your inner peace. You only need the wrong friends. Removing toxic people is not an emotional decision. It is a strategic one, and it is one of the fastest paths to emotional invincibility. Effective affirmation. I protect my peace from all who threaten it. Lesson 18. Turn silent pain into quiet power. Everyone suffers. Everyone has wounds. Everyone carries something heavy. But emotionally untouchable people transmute suffering into strength. Not through denial, but through mastery. They don't let pain turn them bitter. They let it sharpen them, clarify them, strengthen them. The world never sees their scars. It only sees their resilience. This is what Jung meant by integrating the shadow. Facing your wounds isn't weakness. It's transformation. Your pain becomes your foundation, not your prison. Effective affirmation. My pain fuels my evolution. Nothing breaks me. Lesson 19. Make peace with being misunderstood. If you crave understanding, if you crave recognition, if you crave being seen, you give the world control over your emotional state. Emotionally untouchable people understand a darker truth. Being misunderstood is freedom. When people don't fully understand you, they cannot predict you. They cannot categorize you. They cannot weaponize your vulnerabilities. Mystery is not a weakness. Mystery is a shield. The more people try to decipher you, the more psychological power you gain. Machiavelli advised rulers to appear as you must, not as you are. He knew the value of strategic misunderstanding, a protective fog that guards your intentions. Let people create their own inaccurate versions of you. You don't need to correct them. You only need to continue your path. Effective affirmation. I embrace being misunderstood. My truth needs no permission. Lesson 20. Practice detachment without losing compassion. Many confuse emotional untouchability with emotional numbness. They believe you must disconnect from humanity, shut down empathy, or become cold to survive. But that isn't true. The untouchable are not unfeeling. They are uncontrolled. They love deeply but do not collapse from heartbreak. They care for others but do not allow themselves to be exploited. They show empathy but never sacrifice their self-respect. This is what Eastern philosophy calls detached compassion. You can care, but you do not cling. You can love, but you do not lose yourself. You eliminate emotional dependency, not emotional connection. This creates a calm, grounded presence, a presence that others find both reassuring and intimidating. Because the person who cannot be emotionally destabilized is the person the world respects. Effective affirmation. I feel deeply, but I remain sovereign. Lesson 21. Never show people where your peace comes from. Everyone has a source of peace, a routine, a habit, a sanctuary, a practice that resets their mind and centers their emotions. But emotionally untouchable people keep these sacred places private. Why? Because the moment others know what steadies you, they can interfere with it, disrupt it, challenge it, use it against you. Your peace should be your secret weapon, not a public disclosure. Whether it's silence, solitude, prayer, training, walking, meditation, or reflection, keep it hidden. Let the world wonder why you stay so composed. Let them confuse your calm with coldness. Let them guess how you rebuild yourself. Your sanctuary exists for one purpose: to give you strength no one else can touch. Effective affirmation. My sources of peace are private. My strength is mine alone. Lesson 22. Embody the stillness that breaks other people's chaos. There is a level of emotional mastery so powerful that your stillness becomes disruptive. When others yell, you remain steady. When others panic, you stay neutral. When others create chaos, you create silence. Your calm becomes their mirror, reflecting their instability back at them. This is psychological dominance. Not through aggression, not through intimidation, but through presence. The warrior Miyamoto Musashi called it the immovable mind, a state so centered that nothing external can penetrate it. When you reach this state, people sense it. They feel it in your tone, your stillness, your eyes, your silence. You are no longer just emotionally untouchable. You are psychologically untouchable. Effective affirmation. My stillness is power. My calm is unshakable. Summary: the ruthless mindset. Let's bring all the lessons together. The architecture of a mind the world cannot break. You became emotionally untouchable when you learned to guard your attention like treasure, avoid emotional bait and respond with intention, pause strategically instead of reacting impulsively, separate emotion from strategy to protect your judgment, decode insults as information instead of injury, maintain psychological distance to preserve clarity, stop explaining yourself, letting results speak, delay responses to avoid emotional traps, recognize projection and wounded behavior in others, master low reactivity, becoming unpredictable, eliminate neediness from your identity, use silence as a tool of dominance, build an inner world no one can invade, grow comfortable with discomfort, hide your emotional state from those who seek leverage, refuse meaningless battles, remove chaotic people from your life, turn pain into strength, not weakness, accept being misunderstood as a strategic advantage, practice detached compassion, not emotional dependency, protect your sources of peace, embody stillness that disrupts chaos. This is the architecture of the ruthless mind, not cruel, but controlled, not heartless, but sovereign, not cold, but unshakably calm. This is the mindset that makes you emotionally untouchable. If you apply these lessons, you will not become hard or numb. You will become dangerously stable, a person who moves through the world with quiet strength, deep clarity, and an aura that commands respect without saying a word. And when people try to break you, they will fail. Not because you are stubborn, but because you are built differently, designed with intention, forged through discipline, strengthened by strategy. This is the path Machiavelli understood, the path rulers walked, the path the untouchable follow. Walk it, and the world will never see you the same way again. If this video gave you clarity, if it sharpened your mindset, if it awakened something powerful within you, then do 3 things. 1. Like the video, it tells the algorithm this message matters. 2. Subscribe because you're not done evolving. 3. Comment "I am untouchable" to solidify the mindset. Your evolution has begun. Stay disciplined. Stay strategic. Stay untouchable.